Hello everybody! Today I'm here with you to share my top 14 books read in 2014. 2014 was a great reading year for me. I read a total of 51 books and that is just amazing. My initial reading goal at the beginning of 2014 was to read 30 books. I made great reading in 2014 that right now I'm here to share my top 14 of 2014. So I got the list here, and the way I did this, I grabbed from Goodreads the books that I gave a 5-star rating, 5 stars, and then from there I kind of organized it. I'm here to share with you the 14 books that I enjoy most in 2014. In number 14, we have Patrick's by James A. Jr. from an independent author who is also a YouTuber. He makes sometimes book stuff and most of the time he recently is doing analog photography reviews and technology reviews, so he does a lot of stuff in his YouTube channel, and I really enjoyed this book. I read it so fast, like in 24 hours or less, because it was intriguing. It really got me on and I couldn't stop reading, and it was a really good book. It was a steampunk novel and I really enjoyed it. In number 13 we have Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. This book I enjoy it, and the reason that it's not higher in my list is because since I've seen the movies in the past, I kind of already knew the story by itself. I was kind of only experiencing how J.K. Rowling narrates the story because I already knew most of the story, but I gave it 5 stars, and that's why it's in my top 14 of 2014. In number 12 we have The Archive by B.E. Schwab, and this is a fantasy novel, and I really enjoyed Victoria Schwab writing, and this book has a unique storyline. That's why I enjoy it. It was high-paced and it was action-packed, so I really enjoyed this book. In number 11 we have Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I really enjoyed the way this book was written and the idea that it includes photographs in the journey of the story, kind of the way that resonates and grows you in the story. But honestly, this was a book that took me a while to read. Let's say that I picked it up for the first time in May and I read half of the book, but then I stopped. I wasn't in the mood, and then I picked it up again in November, and in November I finished the other half of the story, and that's why it's not higher in my list. But I really enjoy where the story took me and how it ended. So excited to pick the next book in the series this year. This was my favorite fantasy novel that I read in 2014. In number 10 we have Prodigy by Marilu, and well, this book is a dystopian book and it's part of the Allegiant trilogy. And the first book I didn't quite enjoy it, but this book, it really got better, the whole plotline, and I feel like Marilu writing really improved in this second installment of the trilogy, and the ending was so shocking that I'm so excited to read Champion, but for some reason I haven't picked it up yet. In number 9 I have El Libro Salvaje por Juan B. Jodo. This is a Spanish book from a Mexican author. It's a children's story and it includes a lot of full color illustrations, and I will be having a review up of this book pretty soon. In number 8 in my list I have After Dark by Haruki Murakami, and this is a book from a Japanese author and this is a Spanish translation, and I had to read this for my Spanish literature class, and I mostly don't enjoy the books that I read in that class, but this one was pretty good. It was pretty weird, the concept and everything, but I kind of enjoyed the way that Haruki Murakami tells the story. This book introduces me to Haruki Murakami's writing style, and I'm so excited to read more books of Haruki Murakami. In number 7, I have Bloor by Stephen James, and I read an arc of this book, and it's a mystery thriller and it was so intriguing. I read it so fast and I really enjoyed the characters and kind of the idea because it was so original, and apparently it's gonna be a trilogy, so I'm excited for the second book, but I don't know when it's coming out, but I hope it comes out in 2015. It left me with a very huge cliffhanger. In number 6 I have If I Stay by Gail Forman, and it's really a book that gets you with a lot of feelings and emotions, flashbacks. This book is full of flashbacks of Mia, the main character. I really enjoy the plotline and the feeling that Gail Forman put into this work of art. In number 5 we have Persona Normal by Benito Taibo. I picked out this book, I read it, and I enjoyed it so much. And I read it at a time where there was no hype about this surrounding this book, and now there's a lot of hype around this book and around this author. I read it going so blind. I didn't know nothing about the story, but at the end, it surprised me that I really enjoyed this book, and I really fell in love with the characters and the great adventure and journey, because this is a book for book lovers. In number 4, we have 4, a different collection by Veronica Roth. And if you don't know, I absolutely love Veronica Roth's writing style. The moment I had this book in my hands, I was like, I got to read this now. And so the next day, because I opened the package at night, the next day I wake up, I pick up this book, and I read the whole text in just a day. In just 12 hours, I read this whole novel, and I really enjoyed it. I really love it, and it gave me a lot of background about this character, and I still love this series, so it has to be in my list. In number 3, I had Every Day by David Levitin, and this book is a contemporary novel, but I was expecting it to be more sci-fi because it's about this guy that wakes up in different bodies each day, and he's just like a soul drifter. I was expecting a more kind of sci-fi explanation about that thrilling stuff, but instead I received a novel that was kind of a romance, contemporary romance about this guy that falls in love with a girl, and then he wakes in a different body and he cannot get back to the girl that he fell in love. So I got a different story than what I was expecting, but I still enjoyed David Levitin's ways of writing style, and I really enjoy the story. There's gonna be a second book in the perspective of the girl. There's still more of this coming in the future. In number 2 in my list, I had Looking for Alaska by John Green. And this has to be my favorite John Green novel. I know it's his first novel, but I felt so related to the characters even more than The Fault in Our Stars, and also the big shocking effect that this book has. Of course, you know, there's an event, and well, this event was so dramatic and really got me tearing down tears out of my eyes. I was bawling down. This book is my favorite John Green novel, and it was so amazing. And it's one of my favorite books that I have ever read. So this is a precious book. I really love it, and I really recommend you to pick up Looking for Alaska by John Green. My top 1 book of 2014 is Allegiant by Veronica Roth, and this was the final installment in the Divergent trilogy, and this was my first read of 2014. Whole year has gone by since I read this book, and still I cannot get it out of my head, out of my system, because oh my god. And that ending, I know many people hated that ending, but for me, that ending felt true and real. So that's why I primarily enjoyed this book. No other writer has made me feel like she made me feel. Not even John Green made me feel like that. You deserve an award, Allegiant. You deserve an award. Too many words I just spread out into my camera. I already shared with you my top 14 books read in 2014. And in 2014 I read so many awesome books. And I hope you enjoyed that, and keep tuned for my next video. As always, happy reading. So, goodbye.